All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to demystify business analytics. We're all swimming in information, right? Well, this is the tool that really separates the winners from the losers. It's all about turning that raw data into a real, actual competitive advantage. So let's dive right in.
Okay, so picture this. Your business has a mountain of data, right? I'm talking customer interactions, sales figures, operational metrics, you name it, you've got it. But here's the thing, just having data isn't the point. The real question, the one we're here to answer, is how do you turn all that noise into a clear signal? A signal that actually tells you what to do next?
And that is exactly where business analytics comes in. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a detective for your business. It's not just about glancing at the numbers on a spreadsheet. No way. It's about using these incredibly powerful tools to find the hidden clues, the subtle patterns and insights that can crack your biggest strategic challenges wide open. So the best way to wrap your head around this whole thing is to see it as a journey. Seriously, it's a path that every single data-savvy company travels on, and it's all about moving from just a pile of raw numbers to the real power of intelligent, automated decisions.
And this journey has three main stages, with each one building right on top of the last. We start with descriptive analytics, then move to predictive, and finally prescriptive. And here's the cool part. With each step we take, the questions we can answer for the business get way more complex and a whole lot more valuable.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning with the foundation, descriptive analytics. This first step, it's all about looking in the rearview mirror. It's here to answer one simple, fundamental question. What happened? You can think of this as basically creating a report card for your business. It takes all that messy historical data and just organizes it. It turns it into a clear story showing you the basic trends and patterns. It's that first, absolutely essential step to just making sense of it all. And here's a perfect example. Instead of some messy spreadsheet with 1,000 employee names, this chart gives us an instant snapshot of our workforce. Boom. We can see right away that almost 77% of our staff are in clerical roles. That simple fact, pulled right out of the raw data, that is the essence of descriptive analytics. So, the main takeaway here, the crucial point, is that this stage is all about translating. It's translating chaotic, raw data into things we can actually understand and use. Like the reports you read every morning, or those dashboards that track all your key metrics. But looking at the past is just the beginning. The next level of sophistication, well, that's where we start looking into the future. This is predictive analytics, and it takes all those insights from our historical data and asks the really exciting question, what is likely to happen next? And this really captures that shift perfectly, doesn't it? With descriptive, we're looking backward. With predictive, we're looking forward. We're moving from being, historians of our data to becoming forecasters. It's a huge pivot from just reacting to the past to proactively getting ready for the future.
Okay, so this is where the approach gets a lot more sophisticated. Predictive analytics takes all that historical data we organized and starts applying really powerful tools like machine learning. And the goal here is to find those subtle patterns that you'd never see with the naked eye, the ones that let us forecast the future, not with 100% certainty, but with a calculated statistical probability.
And believe it or not, you interact with predictive analytics literally every single day. It's the engine behind your email spam filter. It's the fraud detection alert you get from your bank. It's the system that forecasts which products are going to be in demand next month, so they're actually on the shelves when you go to buy them. It's everywhere. So the core idea is actually pretty simple when you boil it down. You find historical patterns, you build a model based on those patterns, and then you use that model to make an educated guess about the future. It's less like a magic crystal ball and way more like a highly sophisticated weather forecast, but for your business. All right, now we've arrived at the peak of our analytics journey. We've looked at the past, we've forecasted the future, but prescriptive analytics, it takes things one giant leap further by answering the most important question of all. So what? What should we do about it? Yeah, and this quote really captures the essence of this final stage perfectly. Prescriptive analysis aims to identify, given the known parameters, the best solution or result among various choices. It's not just about seeing one possible future. It's about looking at all the different choices and identifying the absolute best path forward to reach your goals. And this is the key difference right here. A weather forecast tells you it might rain. That's predictive. But a recommendation telling you, hey, you should bring an umbrella, that's prescriptive. See the difference? It's about turning that insight into direct,
actionable advice.
So how does it do this? Well, to make these recommendations, Prescriptive Analytics uses a really powerful toolkit. It takes the forecasts from our predictive models and feeds them into AI systems and what are called optimization algorithms. But it also considers all of your business rules and constraints, things like your budget or your production capacity, to suggest the single best course of action.
This chart really brings our entire journey together beautifully. As you can see, the value to the business just keeps climbing at each step. And why? Because we gain more control. Descriptive analytics lets us understand our business. Predictive analytics lets us anticipate what's coming. But prescriptive, that lets us actively shape the best possible outcome. And that right there is the pinnacle of analytical maturity.
So, where is all of this heading? What's the end game? Well, the ultimate goal of business analytics isn't just to advise humans. It's to create systems that can act on these insights automatically. Yeah, we're talking about building intelligence directly into the business itself. Imagine systems that can analyze data, make the best possible decisions, and then execute on them, all without constant human oversight. That is the true promise of being a data-driven operation. And this new generation of decision-making, it's going to be fast, it's going to be efficient, and it's going to be autonomous. Just imagine a supply chain that automatically reroutes shipments based on real-time weather predictions, or a marketing system that adjusts its ad spend on its own based on how customers are behaving. The gap between getting an insight and actually doing something about it, it basically disappears.
Which leaves us with one last, and I think fascinating question to ponder. As our systems get better and better at finding the optimal, data-backed solution, what's the role for us, for people? What becomes the new frontier for human judgment and our own intuition when a machine can already find the best answer? Something to think about.